Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back, or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. I'm here live this morning with an energy update. Good morning, Wesley, first to arrive. It's probably afternoon for you, if I'm right. Good to see you here. Energy update today. So I'll just wait a moment and let a few of you who are up to joining me today to log in. We are in a little bit of dense energy. Anybody here feeling a little bit of denseness going on around you? A little bit of denseness. Perhaps you've been noticing some people kind of taking little bites at you. Perhaps a little bit of scratching going on. People reaching out. Yes, absolutely. The energy has been dense. I started feeling it Monday when I was meditating, and I just kind of had to sit with it a little bit more and spend some time with channeling to understand this denseness that's coming up. Wesley, at least you're in the pluses. We're in the minuses. It's really cold here this morning. This dense energy, we've got some things going on, and there's a few reasons for this denseness. There's a few reasons for the reactiveness from some people, or the scratching out or the biting that sometimes I like to describe it as people taking a little bite out of you for perhaps no reason at all. A lot of people are feeling this dense energy, and sometimes, depending where people are on their journey, they don't really have an awareness to why they're so reactive or what's going on within them energetically. So let me break this down for you in this energy update. So I'll give you a little bit of numerology 101. We are in the 6th universal year number. So if you add the twos up in 2022, it equals 6. So in the 6th universal year, that year brings us lessons on balance. It brings us lessons on the importance of what's going on in our home, our health, love, success, and service, and boundaries and discipline. I think I've covered them all in the 6th universal year. So it's also a watershed year, one that's been very sobering, one that's been very humbling, perhaps a little bit painful, some uplifting. There's been a lot of frustrating things in 2022. And our heart and our eyes have been opening up a lot in 2022. Many people are coming to some new realizations. Perhaps they realize they want to change their journey, or perhaps they're realizing that there's more to them, to their higher self, than what they acknowledge. There's been a lot of growth through 2022, and there's been a lot of relationship changes. Yes, Arlene, a roller coaster year. It has been, especially with the emotional stuff that's going on. There's also been a lot of transition. There's been a lot of loss in 2022. There's been a lot of people returning to the spirit dimensions. So we've got a lot of people navigating through a whole bunch of stuff, right? A whole bunch of stuff. Now, one thing that this density, one of the reasons, that this density is also a little bit thicker for other people, is we are inching into the 7th universal year. So 2023 is the 7th universal year, and I will be doing either a live or a video a little bit more on what that means for all of us. But there is a key theme that's coming up in 2023 with the 7th universal year, and that is the whole knowing yourself piece and getting to know your soul and the energy that is within you. So as we're coming out of that, and as we're coming into that 7th universal year, what's happening for many people, on top of the Christmas season energy and all of that kind of blends in there, is a lot of people, either consciously or subconsciously, are not aware of what they still need to finish up in 2022. They just haven't quite navigated through a lot of that. And the density from the universe is saying to many people, you've got to find that balance. You've got to find that love. You've got to find that space within you to kind of navigate through all that. So if you're noticing people around you, or perhaps it's you, perhaps you're feeling a little bit bitey, that you're just kind of biting at people, or that you're kind of processing, that's a big part of it with this density that's kind of come in energetically this week. Romina, I'm one of those for sure. Yeah. And good, good for you for being able to kind of sit there and say, yep, that's me. So what can we do? It's not too late. It's never too late. It's never too late to work through some of these processes, with work through some of the allowing, with taking a look at saying, yeah, what's out of balance? What didn't I kind of balance up, and kind of lean in there a little bit and kind of sift and sort through it. And as we get closer to the 2023 and the 7th universal year, we are going to feel some transition within ourselves. We are going to feel a little less distracted. We are also going to be stepping out of outside influences quite a bit in 2023. I'm very excited for this 7th universal year. The Spirit has shown me some incredible things that are coming for many of us. Now, included in this density, because there's a part two. There's a part two, and I'm sure many of you are aware, the Christmas season. The Christmas season, the holiday season, brings a lot. Good morning to all you coming in. Good morning. It adds to this whole density as we're changing universal years from 6 to 7, because the holiday season for many of us, we're going through a lot of things on top of this transition with the numerology. We're going through perhaps, some stress, perhaps that pressure of the holidays. There's a big piece of the holiday season with meeting expectations and pleasing people. So if you're still working on your stuff from the 6th universal year, and you add a pinch of the holiday season into that, the density becomes really thick, and it can be really hard for many people to be able to see through that density, to be able to see through that, that heaviness of a fog. And then there's that reactive piece of us. Our bodies do react to that. Oh, PJ, I'm sorry you got the stomach flu, darling. I'm sorry. The other thing that does come in with a lot of shifts is the solstice will bring, and we are almost there. The solstice is going to bring in a lot of movement for that. Now, regardless of what goes on energetically, we as humans have the choice to tap in and lean into there, the choice and free will to kind of say, you know what, I've got to clean up a few things. I don't necessarily understand all of the energy that's going on around me, but I think I need to kind of just pause and come and just kind of have a look and having a feel for what is going on, and what can I do to shift out of that. So a few years ago, for me personally, I put down a lot of the stress that the holiday season brings to me, or was bringing to me. I put it down, and I stepped out of commercialism, and I stepped out of a whole bunch of stuff. And I kind of came up with new traditions every year to kind of bring a different vibration to it. Our physical body responds to this density. And Arlene, and Nisa mentioned something that I just talked about too. Arlene, you're right. I feel drained and tired. The density and the energy, our physical body responds to it. We hold energy in our body. So that density, we pick it up. We're energetic beings. We are tuned in, even if we may not realize that we're tuned in. And our physical body responds with, hey, I'm tired. And when you think about it just for a moment, when the physical body's resting, it's healing. And it's not always healing from the physical world stuff. It's not always because you've worked really hard, or you may have done some extra exercise. It's not just about the physical stuff that the body goes through. It's about the energetic stuff that the body goes through as well. So our bodies do go through the energetic shifts, whether we are aware of them or not. Our physical bodies pick up things because within our physical body is our higher self. And our higher self reaches out and says, just slow down, just kind of clean this up, just kind of process this, or step back out of what's not serving you. A lot of relationships have been shifting throughout 2022. And if you take a moment and just think about people that you may have just fallen off naturally, like this kind of fallen back out of your life, you may not hear from them as much. And when you kind of sit there and feel into that, sometimes there's a lot of reasons for that. Sometimes they're just not meant to journey with us any longer. And sometimes we just step out of energy that is adding to our density. And the word permission comes into my awareness, and just kind of allowing what needs to be within relationships to shift and change. And that is a big one for many of us. We kind of struggle with that and take things really personally, or we kind of, put up those walls, put up those guards, especially as people are biting us and scratching us. Good morning coming in. Good morning. So what can you do? So what can you do to help navigate through some of this density? The one thing that I always ask myself, what am I feeling? So just kind of ask yourself that. What am I feeling? Am I feeling my own stuff? So I will sit and ask. So, I'm one that always closes my eyes. I will sit and ask, is this my stuff? No, it doesn't feel like my stuff. It feels like some stuff outside of me. Is it coming from the collective? Where is it coming from? People around me. And then what I'll often do is I'll just literally visualize a ball of light around myself, and I will use that light as a bit of a protective shield to help me work through to protect me from some of that that's not mine. If I'm leaning into it and it feels like my stuff, it feels like I've got some cleanup to do, some spiritual cleanup to do, some energy clear up to do, I will tap into, some of my healing modalities. I do a lot of energy work on myself. If I'm feeling pulled, I may go see a healer that I connect with. I may just simply allow myself to journal. I'll give myself some space and some time to really process energetically how I'm feeling. And if I truly don't know, then that's kind of what I write. I really don't know why I'm feeling this heavy. I really don't know why I'm feeling this way. And I'll just simply ask for a little bit of clarity, and I'll ask Spirit to show me. And those are the exact words that I will use. Spirit, can you show me? Can I have some clarity on this topic? And I'll just feel into it. And, kind of taking that self-inventory is really important. I think coming into 2023, into that 7th universal year, you're going to want to tap into that a little bit more and a little bit more. The other thing that I kind of wanted to tap into a little bit more about is the biting that we get back from other people. So sometimes, and I'll call it biting, I get bit every now and again by people. And what I do is I literally step back for a moment. I make sure that I'm in my own lane, and with a loving boundary, I make sure that people are in their own lane. And then what I kind of do is I kind of ask myself, am I a contributing factor here in the bite? More or less, have I done something? Am I energetically aware? And yes, I am energetically aware, maybe the response. And if it's coming from somebody else's sifting and sorting of this density, I don't dance in it. I truly don't dance in it. It's okay to step back in a loving manner. It's okay to just hold some space, shining the light on them, and just kind of giving that biting. It's an opportunity to pause by stepping out of it. Sometimes we start dancing in that density, don't we? Sometimes we just kind of get pulled in or triggered into getting involved in that density that's not ours. It's coming up for a reason this morning. With what Spirit has talked to me about, it's coming up for a reason. It's a big heads up as we navigate through the next week. I do feel it's going to be about at least a week from today. PJ, yes, we can step away. Yeah, it's a very loving thing to do. When I step away from people, it's not a negative or in a bad way. I just lovingly make sure that I'm in my lane and that people are in theirs. And if I can help from my lane with people, then I offer it. If I cannot help from my lane, I simply hold the space and just visualize a light at their feet to help them navigate through certain things. And and that's we're all healers. We all have the ability to heal. Every single one of you has that superpower within you. You can just simply visualize a flashlight or a pot light or some light at someone's face or their feet. Sorry, I don't mean their face, but some light at someone's feet to help them navigate through what they're going through. Giving space and love from afar. PJ, it's beautifully said. PJ, I lost my papa a year ago this Saturday, and he was a major part of our family, and his past date fast approach, and I very much have him in my mind. I'm hoping he is seeing all. PJ, he is absolutely seeing all. Spirit is always around us. They're always with us. They're always helping us. They're always supporting us 100%. I'm not sure, PJ, if you're aware or seen the event on the community page. I am doing a mediumship event Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you're able to join us, you are welcome to. He knows he's very loved. Spirit knows how much we love them. They also know that we work through our grief in very different stages, and everybody has their own journey with that. But what Spirit wants for us, we struggle to embrace some of that because of that lack of the physical presence of them, right? We struggle with that lack of physical presence. Working with spirit has taught me incredible things about the spirit dimensions, and I'll be sharing more of that in that Zoom event that I'm very excited to be hosting, because I'll be able to meet many of you in a little deeper space. PJ, I'm just going to tap in there for a little bit because he's pushing me. I'm seeing the number 4. So the month of April, significant anniversary, birthday, or passing. Or are you one of 4 or the 4th of a month? He's showing me that. I also have to talk about, is there a reference to another J name, like name John or Jim or Jake? I got another J name in my awareness that's separate from you. And he is wrapping you in a big hug of love and light. So I will leave that there for you, PJ. Questions? I'm just going to scroll back through about the density. Anybody else want to comment on feeling that density? Oh yes, I have definitely been on edge. Yeah. I've been struggling with the harshness. Yep. The harshness, one thing that you can do is soften it. When something feels harsh, energetically, you have the power to shift out of that space and soften it. And that's one thing that I tell most of all my students, people come to see me for spiritual guidance and spiritual advising, is being able to soften the energy that you are picking up on or that you're feeling, and that you don't have to hold it within you. I've talked about in the past on lives and in videos about not picking things up. We are often not aware what we're picking up, and sometimes we're very aware that we're picking up that, and usually it's that knee-jerk reaction. So how do you know if you're picking something up? If you're having a knee-jerk reaction to something, you've picked it up, right? So if anybody has been harsh with you, or if you've been kind of bitten by somebody and all of a sudden you're having that responsiveness, practicing that pause, processing it first. I always process things before. I work really hard. I mean, I think we all do slip and have a knee-jerk reaction, but processing it first. How do I want to respond? From what point of alignment am I in my own lane when I respond? And sometimes our response to people in a very loving way, you can very lovingly tell someone to, how you feel, without holding it, right? Sometimes we have to say these tough things. There are things that we need to say sometimes, but it's not what we say, it's how we say it. Right? From a loving space. The quick question that I ask myself all the time is what would source energy say? What would source energy do? Right? I go there really, really quick when I'm struggling with the density. I go there really quick because that's the space that I kind of want to look at things through. That's kind of the space that I want to be able to speak from. So you can speak to somebody. I mean, you can say just about anything, with that vibration of love and get your point across. It's not about holding it in. It's not about not saying anything. It's about how you say it and where you're coming from when you say it. Hold on tight this week through that density. Hold on tight through, and lean into your spirit guides. Lean into that powerhouse energy that's always with you, available to tap in at any time. Lean into it more as this density goes through. I would also ask spirit for, I usually ask for like a miner's light. I'll say, you know what, it's really thick right now. The energy's really thick. Can I just have a miner's light around my head to help me see and navigate through it? Ask for the tools. Ask spirit, and if you want to lean into the angelics or just source energy or a higher ascended master, whatever word resonates to you, insert that and just ask for the tool. Can you help me with a miner's light to see through this dark space, or to see through the fog or this dense space that I'm in? Ask for the tools and then be willing to use them. Spirit wants for us what we want for ourselves, and they're there to help us. And it's that simple. When people say to me quite often, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you navigate through all that. And I just simply respond. It's because I ask my guides, and that's where I lean into for all the guidance. That's how I navigate through it. I also wanted to take a moment this morning. Earlier in the week, I sat with Spirit about direction. What do I need to do? Where do I need to go? What needs to change? Including my social media. I bring everything to my spirit council. I make almost no decisions without asking Spirit. Everything. I take the Hawk and I brought my business plan up to Spirit and said yes or no. What do I need to do? And I got a lot of information from Spirit, as I usually do. I got a lot of information from Spirit, but then what happened was, this is kind of awesome. Then what happened was emails and messages I started to receive from strangers. Emails and messages I started receiving from clients, students. And the messages came from the spirit dimensions, but through other people. And the messages were very much all the same theme. A lot of gratitude and a lot of thank you for being part of my learning journey, and thank you for showing up and having the courage to do this, and thank you for going live on Facebook and YouTube, and for your posts, and it's made a difference in my life. And I sat there and read every one of those messages a few times, and I felt Spirit all over that. There's my answer with the social media. I need to keep showing up. I need to keep holding the space and helping people on their journey as far as the social media goes. That was how I received the answer. When you're asking, the answer may come in many different forms. It may come as a direct knowing from the spirit dimensions when you're sat there. There are times where I'm asking Spirit and talking to Spirit, and I'm like, anybody up there listening to me? Because I can't, I'm just not getting an answer. And then within a couple of minutes, couple hours, couple days, it's like, oh, there it is. That's the answer to what I asked for. And asking is the biggest key, to receiving that help and that guidance from the spirit dimensions. How else are you going to get it? It's just like if Arlene wanted a favor from me, I'm not going to know unless she asks, right? It's the same thing with spirit. It's the same thing with source energy. And it's the same thing within yourself too. If you need something from yourself, you need to ask yourself to show up for it, right? You need to ask yourself to show up for it. Loving it. I do hope that this topic has given you something to think about. I'm just going to scroll through and read a couple of comments here. PJ, we'll set a plate this year for him. I love the vintage stocking story. It warmed my heart. Oh, PJ, that yesterday was something else with that experience. Yes, Spirit is heightened with me over the holidays as far as the random readings go. I pretty much can't go anywhere without Spirit showing up and bringing some healing. But in my state of busyness yesterday, I truly wasn't expecting such a profound moment to pause my day, and it was beautiful. And it's so true. Setting a space up for your family over the holidays that have passed, setting them, whether it be a place at the dinner table, hanging out their, an item of their clothing. I have a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, who lost her dad a few years ago, and her dad's coat and hat still hang by her front door. And at Christmas, she brings the coat and the hat to the table. At many family events that she has, she brings the coat and the hat to the table, and she drapes the coat over the chair and puts the hat on the chair. So he's got his spot for the occasion and ran for Christmas. And his picture, rather than a plate, she puts his picture at his seat. And the family, there's some tears. Of course, there's going to be tears. We love our loved ones in the spirit dimension so much. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of tears, but that's okay. But what happens is the reminiscing and the memories come back, and you start to feel Spirit's presence. You start to feel them literally there. And that's what she describes to me. She says, Lana, it's like he's here. It's, and she's like, I know it sounds crazy. And I'm like, you don't got to say that to me. I talk to the dead. So it doesn't sound crazy to me. But yeah, kind of tapping into that. Is it Arisen Phoenix? Is my babies that pass with their grandparents 100%? They're part of your soul family that connects to your grandparents, because your grandparents are part of your soul family as well. So 100%. Let me see. Wesley. And maybe throwing some avocados or other fruits and vegetables. Yeah, that's a good one, the avocado. Let's just see where we're going to go here. I do have to get to work, but I'll try and answer a few more questions. Salome, would love a message. My mom has COVID, and I fear I will too. And is it possible that Christmas will be a little bit different this year? I'm going to tackle the Christmas question first while I feel into this illness, but I want to tackle the Christmas question a little bit. Christmas is different every single year. like every single day is different, and every holiday is different. And I don't feel though that when you ask if Christmas feels different this year, as far as the love and the energy goes, and the what Christmas means to you, I don't feel it different this year. I also don't feel terrible health wise. I do feel either mom is turning a corner with COVID. I do feel that she's going to recover. I do feel a little bit on the slower side though. Like I don't feel that instant bounce back, and with COVID it quite often isn't, to be fair. I would need to pull you out of that fear of getting COVID, and nobody likes to be sick, especially this time of year. But we got to be careful with fear, because fear can also bring in, right? So fear can bring in, fear can chip down. A lot of people with fear, not just with COVID, but with fear overall, can bring things in. And fear does affect our immunity. Fear does affect how our physical body responds. I need to kind of lean into, if I'm sick, I give my body permission to heal. I work at the healing end of it rather than the fear end of it. And I know that may be a little difficult when you're not feeling great, but that's how I deal with it. I lean into my body is healing. I lean into my my herbal teas. I lean into my belief systems on what's going to heal my physical body. Sometimes for me, when I get sick, and please chime in if this resonates with you. Sometimes when I get sick, if I get a little cold, or if I'm feeling worn down, or my things not feeling great, or something pops up health wise, I usually tap into my physical body and ask what needs to be let go, because for me, it's usually I'm often holding things. And quite often when we hold things, it can trigger inflammation. If your joints are sore, if your back is sore, if your chest is sore, headaches. We also hold energy in our head, in our third eye space. So when I'm sick, I will often, acknowledge the pause, acknowledge my physical body, and I'll lean into healing it. And for me, it makes me feel better rather than, sitting in the misery of not feeling well. That's kind of what I do. My dream is to help protect the way you do. Arlene, keep practicing protection. I do think I have a couple videos up on the channel that talk a lot about protection. I always say to navigate through protection. What does protection mean for you, right? I work a lot with white light because white light resonates with me. I work a lot with crystals because crystals resonate with me. I work a lot with the angels and guides because I connect so profoundly there. So leaning into all those things. Sandra, wow, 100% can relate to the inflammation as a result of fear and anxious and fixation. I haven't considered asking my body what it needs. 100%, Sandra. So I would sit with your body and ask it what it needs, and also ask your body what it's holding on to. So fear, anxiety, past traumas, we hold that energy in our body, in different chakra areas, and it affects our physical body. Inflammation is a big thing for me. I do have flare-ups of inflammation within my body, and the first thing I do is I take a look at what I'm doing. Where are my thoughts? What rabbit hole have I gone down? What am I working through and processing? And I work at not holding it in my physical body. I work at holding it out of my body. I work at looking at it this way. I literally do. I literally grab my body, and I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to pull that fear out and talk to it outside my body. We're not meant to hold things in our physical body. Our physical body wasn't built for that. Arlene, no, to do what you do. Okay. It's all about practice, trust, and leaning in. There's books, there's workshops, there's just trust, there's allowing yourself to grow into that direction. It really is that simple. There's no there's a lot of magic in it, but you have the magic within you. That's what she said. Lana, can you please take a peek and tell me, am I going to have children? I mean, specifically, if I will give birth. That's what she said. I feel quite excited when I lean into that energy. I have an excitement. I have a lot of emotions in my heart that I need to kind of let go. I really feel like I need to let go for a moment. I also see a lot of light around your lower abdomen. Like I just see a lot of light there. I don't have a negative feeling, and I don't have the words to give you to let go of that. This is a hot topic that's very sensitive to my heart because I've taken that journey. But I do feel that you are going to have your own children, and I need to kind of get you to kind of feel into that yourself. It feels very good to me. Romina, I found out I have a bit of anemia, being mentally relaxed lately. It's helping me to navigate with what I have to do to get better. Good for you. Good for you. Let's just see where I need to go. Verinda, I'm pulled to stop at your name for a moment. Verinda, if I can just get you to just kind of type in the comment section. I keep hearing September in my mind. What's the significance of September? Or the number 9. I also have this incredible smell of freshness. It's just I don't know if he had a fresh smell to him, but I just smell really fresh all of a sudden as he steps in a little bit closer. He has been working relentlessly hard to leave you a lot of spirit signs. I can feel his presence around you. I can also see him sitting in a specific chair. It's in the corner of a room, kind of overlooks main area of home. I can see a lot of coins. He's leaving a lot of coins. I can also feel a lot of humor around him with reaching out with little things like glitching. I also, and the song See You in September keeps coming up. There's got to be a reference to September as being significant anniversary, birthday, or passing. So I'll give you a moment to kind of write to me if that resonates. He's also got me in the month of July. He's also talking about this. You're talking a lot to him. He hears you all the time. He hears you all the time. Thank you, Lana. At 50, I know it's a risk, but I'm willing to take it to make it past 40 years of womanhood worthwhile. I can't lean out of it. I have to kind of lean in there. So I will leave that with you to trust that journey there. Okay. I'm just going to give her a second to answer me. September is my birthday. Woohoo! There you go. So here we go. We got him in, Verinda. Also, the month of July is significant. He puts me in July. Watch for those coins. Verinda, he keeps showing me he's got his hand. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I apologize if I'm not. He also has his hand on your right shoulder, with kind of giving you that gentle push forward. Your happiness is very important to him, and he needs you to be happy. Your happiness when he was here was very important. Your happiness for him in the spirit dimensions is very important. So he's kind of gently pushing you forward in that. I will leave that with you there. He still has me in July, so it's got to be something significant in July. And again, I will be doing a free event. The link will be posted on the community page. If anybody wants to participate in that, it's my gift to you this Christmas. Sandra, random question. Is it possible to reincarnate as a plant or as a very small cellular organism? 100%, Sandra. I have done many past life regressions with people where we were extremely, extremely surprised when I say, if you find yourself in a physical body, can you look down at your feet? Is the sentence in the regression. And I have had people say, I don't have any feet. And I'll say, okay, can you tell me something about your physical body? I don't have a physical body. And I'll ask them, well, what can you see? What can you see? What do you know about yourself? And I've had so many unique, incredible responses. I've had somebody say that they were coral in the sea. I have had people say that they were a plant or a tree. I have had people tell me that they were a bug. They have spent some lifetime as a bug. A flower was one response. All living things have a soul. So all living things. So the answer to your question, does it come up a lot in regressions? No, it doesn't come up a lot in regressions, but it does come up. The same thing comes up about, I'll say to people, If you find yourself a body, can you tell me about yourself? Yeah, yeah. I'll ask them to take a look around in the regression. Can you describe something that's around you? Because quite often a description will give me to a timeline. They'll describe a timeline. And excuse me, sorry. I have had people during regressions that will be describing a completely other dimension. And I sit there with my pen busy writing and recording it, because it's moments, glimpses into other journeys that we have had, and other possibilities and other dimensions. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, the journey of the soul and the other dimensions that we have had past lives in, and the other bodies that we have, whether it be an animal or a plant. It's incredibly interesting. Well, I know there's still so many questions that we haven't answered yet, but I do have to get going. I do have some sessions that I have to get to, and some work that I have to get done. But I had a lot of fun this morning talking to you all, as I always do. These lives, I love doing them. So I hope that you're all enjoying the time here as well. So yeah, I'm grateful that we had a chance to hang out. As always, love, light, blessings, and a spirit guided day. Take care, everyone.